Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the MHB Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, on a weird afternoon for South Florida sports. Heat lose an absolute heartbreaker against the Nets, and the Dolphins make the playoffs. So shout out to the Dolphins. You know, that's a huge accomplishment for them. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Finns. I'm a Jags fan, but I'm happy. I'm happy for my city. I'm happy for our fellow.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm happy for our fellow Dolphins fans on the pod and our friends and everything. So shout out to the team that plays in Miami Gardens, and good stuff from them making it, given all their injuries and stuff. But tonight the Heat lose to the Brooklyn Nets, 102-101 in an absolute heartbreaker. I'm very sad right now. I'm a sad, I endure a lot of shit. I talked with Brass the other night after the Laker loss. Brass was despondent and angry, and I don't get too high or too low off. I get pretty high off wins, but I don't let it affect me too much. But I'm very sad today, Tiff and Bond. I'm a big fan, and that shit hurted. You know what I mean? I'm sick.
That shit did hurt it.
I'm not sad.
I'm sweating.
I'm disappointed.
Because it didn't have to hurt it.
I have a mild fever, and I just wanted to win today, Tiff.
Gee, we all wanted to win. Like we needed to win, but I'm not hurt.
It was all
I'm
good
just
like an hour ago.
It was.
It was like the game of the year. The back and forth. Apologies in advance for my cough, guys. I don't feel well. I'm really battling something, so please bear with me as we return to full content this week. As we tweeted our schedule, you can find it at MIA Heatbeat on Twitter. And if you're here on Twitch live, thank you very much. We appreciate everybody that joins us live, who's our subscriber and all that. And if you're watching on YouTube, we love you guys. Remember, any overtime this week is on Thursday against the Milwaukee Bucks. So make sure to tune into that. But let's get into the game. And guys, I feel like this game, I feel like each quarter told a different story, right? So, Tiff, I thought early on, it was really interesting how Brooklyn was defending Miami. They put Nick Claxton on Jimmy early to kind of get some size on him, and I thought it worked. And they put Ben Simmons on Bam, and that allowed them to kind of switch everything. And I thought that was a great move from Jacques Vaughn, who is my coach of the year so far this season. And I thought it was a really, really great move. And I thought that set the tone early for them. Jimmy wasn't too involved, but I thought Bam was his most active quarter offensively, and I thought that kind of forced Brooklyn to make a move. So I was very interested in kind of how that game started, and then on the flip end, if you can get into it a little bit, how you felt Highsmith did early on KD, because he was the main assignment for him tonight.
I mean, the thing about it with KD, you're not stopping him. So, like, anybody that was saying that he was getting killed, no, he actually was playing pretty good defense. He was getting into him. He was contesting. But what is KD? I don't know. Is he 7 feet? He's at least, right?
Yes.
Motherfucker big.
Okay, so, right. So, he was contesting, but KD's going to shoot over the top of pretty much everybody. He was getting into his body. He was trying to get into his airspace. And Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. But I think the thing about Hayward, he just kind of plays. He hustles. He made a couple of early baskets. When this team needed a couple of baskets, he made a couple of, as Alf likes to call them, relief points. He played tough D, even though KD was getting, what KD wanted. But like, you pretty much, that's all you could ask for with him. Even when they even ended up with a couple of switches, KD still got to the spot on the floor he wanted. He was still able to rise right over the top of Jimmy a couple of times and get the shots that he wanted. So there wasn't really much, you could really do with him in that first quarter.
For sure. Mon, let's talk about what the Nets did on defense in that first half, because as we know, the second half they had 37 points in the half. Not good. And I thought in the first half their offense kind of flowed. So I like the game plan from Jog Vaughn, as we touched on how we talked about kind of like that, and then how I thought Bam's kind of play forced more Claxton on him, which I thought Claxton did a good job on Bam, but that kind of made the game a little bit more perimeter oriented. How did you feel kind of that first half played off from that end for Miami?
I liked it. I like where they found themselves at the end of the first quarter. It felt very like I said it was kind of exploratory, but a little bit more than that. Like it was a great feeling, kind of like touchy, feeling each other out. I do think that Nick on Bam, maybe it slowed him down a bit.
Well, Bam
Did
was
pull him
also playing
away.
hurt, right? So he got hurt in the Phoenix game. DeAndre Ayton apparently kneed Bam in the back of the leg, and Bam was playing a little hurt, and then he hurt his hand. So I think that context is kind of important because his finishing was a little off, but I did think he was stripped like an abnormal amount of times.
Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't have the most sure hands on a not hurt day, and so like some of that is
He's not
him
Embiid though.
being hurt.
He's not Embiid.
He I don't know what Embiid is. I don't watch enough of Embiid, but
I
Bam's hands could
mean,
be surer, um, and a lot more than they are.
Embiid's like
Um,
Michael J. Fox.
I appreciated. I
That's mean.
appreciated
I can't do that.
once they got into
no.
an offense. I appreciated kind of like how not methodical, but they felt clean. Like for the most part, they were going through their reads, they were going through their sets. They got some looks that I maybe they could have exploited a little bit better. A little bit better placement on passes. I think they would have gotten some cleaner looks. I know they would have got some cleaner looks under the basket, some cleaner shots from outside. But you talked about Brooklyn switchability, period, and I have a clip for us to look at later. And yeah, so you have Nick, and then you have Ben, and it's a thing of want to and effort with Kevin, but Kevin has the length, and when he wants to, he's of course he's smart enough to defend when he wants to. He's live, he's active. Kyrie's scrappy. Royce O'Neal is has decent enough size, and so while the offense for Brooklyn has been um, finding itself and figuring itself out, considering everyone's been holding some schematic changes, their defense has been what has I guess some surprised some people and has kind of vaulted them into the I guess kind of place of contention that you find them to be, right? Like you expect their offense to be dynamic. And people have all of whatever it is they want to say about Ben Simmons, but he's an incredible piece for them defensively, and they are able to do a lot of stuff with kind of their length. And when dudes want to, they kind of just want to.
So, to your point, Bond, they're ninth in defense, kind of coming into tonight, right behind Miami. So they've
Okay.
kind of kept pace. They've been a top 10 defense, which has been pretty remarkable. All things that you just said. Quick update, by the way. So Bam hurt his hand on the dunk on Joe Harris, on the assault on Joe Harris, possibly murder. We're waiting to see what's going on with Joe Harris, but. Eric Spoelstra gave an update. I don't know how he'll feel tomorrow. It was a hard hand contusion in the first half. He was basically playing with one hand. It was extremely sore, but the X-rays are clean. So he did get an X-ray.
Okay.
So nothing
Right.
bad there. Unlike the game, Tiff, as we talked a little bit on our group chat, like in the Denver game last year, where he had on a putback or something, he had really hurt his hand, and then he went to surgery on a comeback that came short at home. So, kind of on that there. What were you gonna say?
Right. I have a question. I want to ask Bon a question about the defense. Because the one thing
Ours?
the Nets. Because the
Okay.
one thing I was looking for tonight, and I didn't see it, and if you saw it, please point it out to me. We weren't able to take advantage of any mismatches tonight.
Because the things that you consider mismatches, or that typically, basically Brooklyn stacks up really well with Miami length
Mhm.
from a length perspective. Think the most fruitful, I guess, mismatch for them was when they were able to get Jimmy on Kyrie in that kind of short corner, the extended block area, and Jimmy was kind of able to do some stuff he wanted to. I think Jimmy was able to bully Joe Harris to the basket a little
Right.
bit, but with regards to like a Bam, no, there's no mismatches out there really for them to try to hunt. Brooklyn's help defense is really good. Their backline defense is decent, and so yeah, no, you're right. Like Nick Claxton ain't really a mismatch. That's why when
Right.
Bam like tried that fake dunk on him, I'm like, you ain't really trying to punch that on Nick Claxton. Bam, like that's not some
Right.
little man. Like Nick is he ain't built, but he's good and he's like what the number 2 blocks leader
Yeah,
in the
he's
league right
top
now.
three
So no,
right now.
you
Yeah.
right. So you're correct. It would have been Jimmy on whomever he was able to like really go in and select, but across the board, no. I think Tyler had you know little pops, but he didn't feel like flowy and consistent because
Right.
they have the tenacity to try to keep up with him. So no, you're right.
I thought that Jimmy
Or
on
I think
Kyrie was really fruitful in terms of kind of
yeah,
Yeah.
Miami's not a team that can hunt other kinds of mismatch because Bam's not going to do that. That's just although
yes.
and especially on a night like tonight where he was playing with a hurt hand and kind of a hurt lower body. So I thought it was refreshing that Miami went back to finding Jimmy on smaller guys, especially a guy like Kyrie. I know we talked earlier in the post game that was something that we kind of wanted out of him tonight, and I know that his post up numbers have
Right.
been suboptimal this year, and his roll numbers too. And I thought
Right.
them using Jimmy, when Brooklyn was switching a ton, which was really disrupting Miami. I thought when they went to Jimmy as a roller again, and kind of, I think he's the best on the team at slipping the screen. So he was just kind of flying into space, and Brooklyn, who is a team that traditionally doesn't like to help a lot, they stay home on shooters. I thought he was kind of finding those pockets there, which was incredibly. I mean, that was booing their offense in the third quarter, really. When
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Well, I think you even tweeted, somebody needs to help Jimmy out in this quarter.
yeah,
Um, it just became,
he ran out of
what
gas.
he ran out of gas, but it also became what we always fear. It always just becomes stagnant. And then it becomes the dribble, 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 2 seconds left. And now I'm passing to somebody in the corner for a three. And that's what we fear that they revert back to with the offense. And I guess we can also say, like, you will be honest and say a lot of Brooklyn's defense was also the cause of that.
Absolutely.
And it's a Jimmy as a roller too. It's a different kind of dynamic than say like Bam as the roller because you either have Jimmy as a roller or you're probably having him somewhere in the short corner in the dunker spot area. And given Brooklyn's length, Jimmy's not really a lob threat there for you. And so you make Jimmy your short roller and then you have him make the decisions. Is he the one wanting to hit that dump off? Does he feel like he can, get that floater
It's
off?
a
Is
little like
he's
Draymond.
looking yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Draymond is a good one who does it smart, cerebral, knows where the reads are coming from, and so knows where the help is coming from, knows, almost kind of what's behind him based off of what's happening in front of him. So yeah, like Jimmy putting him as a short roller, he's able to survey and then kind of also take his and you get him out of the way rather than just having him kind of in the dunker spot. Because like I say, you're not really lobbing it to him. And so
Right.
that defender can probably stunt and cover him and whoever Bam or offer help to that.
They used it as decoy a lot tonight. Like they'll run two screens up top, and Jimmy will be the first screen, and then he'll slip immediately to kind of throw the switch off, so that on the second screen you either get a later switch or you don't get a switch. And I thought for Tyler especially, I thought that freed him up a ton, which kind of let him kind of find his own a bit, because I thought Simmons did a good job on him tonight, and I think those are the kinds of matchups that are tough. And all this being said. And I tweeted this out. I thought Spo coached an incredible game tonight. And I know that people have killed him all season, but I thought he was constantly making adjustments. It felt like a playoff game in that, okay, well, like they're doing this, so we're gonna counter with this and whatever. Like at the end of and we're gonna get into the 3-guard stuff and the rebounding at the end of the game and all that. But I thought, considering he didn't have Caleb and Bam was out at the end and just the flow of the game, I thought he coached a fantastic game. And not that he needs those flowers, because obviously like he's like one of the best coaches and he's accomplished so much in this league. But I just, I know fans have been kind of hard on him, and I thought he did a good job tonight. Zach33 asked in chat, did they say what happened to Bam? Bam hurt his hand on the dunk against Joe Harris. Eric Spoelstra said that he was sore pretty much all game after that, and that his x-rays are negative. So anybody who's just joining us, Bam's okay. So nothing structurally done. They'll see tomorrow how the soreness is and stuff like that. But that thank God that nothing's broken and it doesn't appear that anything bad's gonna happen. So shout out to him. Hopefully we get news on KD, who also went out. Jimmy kind of fell into his knee a bit on a play there. Hopefully he's okay. It's sad considering how fun this game was, and obviously like that two guys had to go out. So they come into the third quarter. We just talked about what Jimmy did, right? That kind of booing the offense on both ends. I thought tonight, with Tiff, everything that you said, I thought tonight was a night that, when Depot was in foul trouble, which, by the way, I thought he was really good despite being in foul trouble. I thought he was super active. We'll get into him later. But, you had Depot in foul trouble. You had Bam, obviously, kind of hurt a bit. You had Tyler, who started to play well at that point, and they needed that. But I thought, especially without Caleb as well, who has found his spots as a scorer and a playmaker, I thought today was for sure, you needed some scoring out of Kyle. And while I thought he had a good floor game up until like kind of later in the fourth quarter, I thought, tonight's a day where he kind of let them down a bit because, they for sure needed some points. I thought, especially in the fourth, I know why he gave that dump pass to Orlando Robinson. I think he has to try to score there. I understand that I understand that he knows I'm not the finisher I used to be, and I have a big, tall, young guy next to me, so I'm going to give it to him because he'll more likely finish. There were two plays like that, where he had a layup that he gave to Depot in the corner, that Depot, didn't take the shot, and then I think they came up empty that end, and then the Orlando one. So you need some of that from him, I think, and I thought tonight was one of the times that he let them down in that respect.
Yeah, I mean that's just, you pretty much said it. And I don't know if, I guess, because like you said, he had a good floor game, but I don't know if at this stage in his career, if he's starting to wane when it gets to the fourth quarter.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Kyle.
Yep.
Well, I don't think he broke down, but like that long.
No, I don't think he broke down.
The pass to Jimmy,
also,
the one I'm talking about, the one that kind of sailed over. Like that's just a bad pass, bro. Like
right. No, but I'm not talking about breaking down. I'm just saying that at some point, like, we already know he played 10,000 minutes at the beginning of the season. Like, if he's going full speed in the first half, does he have the energy in the fourth quarter when we actually need him to? He's got to take some of those shots. He's got to take that shot. You're the vet. You don't look at Orlando Robinson to save us in that moment. If you're open, you got to take it.
I agree.
So the idea is that I'm not saying he's breaking down, but does he physically have the legs to take that shot in the fourth quarter?
Well, he got a long rest. Like I thought today in particular, he got a long rest.
Yeah, but old and rest are two different things.
He was, and maybe you're right because I know older guys like to be warm.
Yep.
Right. But I mean, he was zippy in that second quarter where he got Orlando involved a ton.
The first half, he was zippy in the entire. He wasn't knocking down shots, but he was up and down the court.
He was going at the rim. He took some contact and finished. I even thought, in the fourth quarter, he got some offensive rebounds that were important. Kind of kept plays alive as a connector, but. Unfortunately, that's not enough, especially when you don't have Bam and Caleb, and he's just not giving you the scoring. And if he does, it's like 1 out of every 5 nights, which unfortunately is just not good enough. And I'm a Kyle guy. Everybody knows that. And I'm not out here throwing him. I'm not like some people want him fucking burnt at the stake or whatever. But I do think asking, him to give you a little bit more on a scoring night. Did he have a 3 tonight? Did his streak finally end?
I don't think
he
won.
I don't think he did.
He didn't. He was 0 for 5, so it's over. Yeah. It's over. The streaks. He only played 31 minutes tonight, which I think is like, you know what I mean? Like that's a good number for a guy his age. Like, Jimmy played 34. That's like nobody played a ton of minutes. I mean, they went deep into their bench. Vincent, Strus, Orlando played 20 minutes pretty much. Victor played 26. I think that Victor kind of taking that high minute role really helps them in general. I mean, Kiro led with 37, but he's a young kid. Hope he's okay. I have no idea. Did you guys see what happened? He just slipped. Is he okay? You think he's okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he was just trying to.
He got off. He went to the back.
Maybe he was trying to fish for something. I don't know.
No, he just slipped.
He's-
The
a
dude
lot of guys
wasn't
were
near him to
slipping.
start
A
fishing
lot
yet.
of guys were slipping on that court tonight, though.
So let's get into the fourth quarter, because I think every quarter, and I probably should have started with the end of the game, but I just thought today was probably I don't know, I'm not the best host.
fine.
I try my
It's
best.
fine.
I had an
You're
idea in my head and
fantastic.
it didn't work
Yes.
out. As I started the
great.
show, I realized I did this backwards, but it is what it is. We're sticking to it. Fourth quarter comes around. You get the news that Durant. Real quick, but just a very apropos of nothing that we haven't mentioned yet. At the end of the half, or I don't remember if it was the half or the first quarter. There was a play that it was either Irving or Curry or somebody hit like a late three, and there were like 3 seconds left on the clock or something. And the Heat, instead of inbounding and dribbling it out, Oladipo throws a long pass. Gabe gets it, takes a three and hits it. A bad three, a three that probably 9 out of 10 times you don't hit. And I love them not giving a shit about fucking their percentage up.
take it.
Just
Yeah.
win the game.
Take it.
I love that. I love that Gabe was running down court to do that. And I know Gabe didn't do a ton tonight on offense, but shout out to him for that, because I love that. But fourth quarter starts. Durant's out. Bam looks a little wobbly. Jimmy has really done too much in the fourth, and Bond, they get a 9-point lead. Orlando plays great. Their bench plays great. They get a 9-point lead. How did we get to that point before we get to the collapse? How did they get up 9? What were they doing that you saw that you liked? Because I thought they played within a very good flow, despite them not having the best scoring half. And I thought defensively they were good. Obviously, Jimmy was fantastic and everything. But
Who's that lineup?
I mean, there was a few.
When
a lot of it was Orlando, Oladipo, Tyler.
Bench. A lot of it was bench.
A lot of it was bench. Their bench, by the way, for all the stuff about their bench was all plus a bunch tonight.
Gee, what did I say was going to What did I say was going to happen to the bench once Gabe came back?
Oh, it settled. Oladipo plus 8, Orlando Robinson plus 24, Strus plus 11.
They stabilized. That's the thing. You needed you needed that one guy that was calm. Gabe plays calm. I love the way Vic plays, but Vic is sporadic.
They forced a ton of turnovers too, man.
And that's what it is. And so I don't know. You have Vic, Gabe, and Tyler. And I know you mentioned something about the 3-guard lineup.
Kyle played a lot with that unit as well. In the beginning of the fourth.
With who instead of
in the beginning of the fourth. That's what I said. It was a mishmash of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the I want to say the versatility that they can put out there in the guard spot. There's a little overlap, but I think the overlap is necessary given Kyle's age and just the miles he has on his body. There is some overlap with him and Gabe. But you need that in a relief. And to your point, Tiff, about Vic and Gabe and so Vic is giving kind of what we expected it to give, right? And you add the stability of a Gabe, like you say, Vic can be kind of chaotic or sporadic or whatever. Gabe, I was talking to Brady. Gabe is steady, but still is forward moving, and then you have the fluidity in kind of a Tyler, and you begin to see, how you're able to piece them together or what have you. There were a lot of forced turnovers, a lot of bodying up, just a lot of good defensive possessions that led to fast breaks or that led to runouts. Vic gets a steal, kicks it up. Tyler takes a kind of a transition 3, knocks it down, and you have the defense feeding the offense in a natural way. And I'm trying to remember some of the sets that I felt like I really enjoyed in the second half and with that group, but just their natural kind of connectedness and starting to have a better feel for one another and where the things that they do well, how they literally plug in pieces and really, really small bites, in really, really small puzzle pieces of the current possession itself. They're starting to figure out how they want to, to piece it together and to make it look. And in the third, and when they went up, when they started to pull away, it was a lot of stops. It was a lot of well-timed digs and guys turning their backs and people coming in and timing the digs and timing, the strips and stuff like that, moving with each other in a connected way in our help defense and not being all extra undisciplined and flying out. They felt professional. They felt put together in stages on both ends of the floor. I think enough to kind of propel them in that little chunk of time.
Shout out to Podium23 in chat. So she said, I love this podcast. We need some positivity today. Thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
We love that.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear some positivity to that. Tiff, I think Bond hit the nail on, hit every head on every nail there. They're up 9. That was their largest lead. And by the way, I don't like when people are like blown a 9-point lead. A fucking 9-point lead.
And I'm sorry, last thing, and shout out to Orlando. Shout
out to Orlando.
Not the most explosive. He's so fucking stable.
He stayed
steady.
I thought tonight was the night that he gets a little exposed because he's an inexperienced player.
The job.
He took the fucking challenge. Awesome.
Yep.
And I thought
he took the challenge head on.
What a difference. And this is not to shit on Jovic because I like Jovic and kind of where he projects. But I think if you look at where he positions himself, how physical he is, just knows where to be a little bit more on defense.
Yeah. He's great in the role too.
He's
so natural and he doesn't get jarred by like an approaching defender in that short roll kind of area.
Energy. Yeah. Just super.
Yeah.
There was a moment. I don't know if you guys saw it. He was like literally in the dunker spot, and Ben Simmons kind of pushed him out a little bit. So he started making his way back too, and Ben Simmons had hold of his jersey, and he literally took his arm and just wrangled Ben Simmons off of him and threw.
Fuck off me, bro.
And in that moment, I said, "This is what I want to see."
I love him.
Regardless of if you get the rebound, I want to see this. Like because we don't.
Ben ain't grab him after that again.
Nope, he didn't. He didn't grab him after that.
Make yourself felt.
Yo, I love
fucking space on the floor. You're not just gonna come over here and try to just bully. I'm not Gabe Vincent. You're not gonna just box me out. You're gonna have to contend with this.
Shout out to Kenshi 0739 in chat. Said Orlando like Big Gabe, just doing his job.
Yep, that's it.
Can we call him Big Gabe?
We can call him Big Gabe.
Big Gabe.
Large flakes.
Large flakes.
Large flakes. large flakes. God.
Call that brother Big Gold.
Don't be taking that Miami.
Right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow they'll be using it.
So I don't like when people are like blowing a 9-point lead. 9-point lead's nothing in the NBA.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. You could say that whatever they had a lead and lost it. Don't phrase it like overcame a 9-point. I wipe my ass with a 9-point lead. I mean, what does a 9-point lead mean nowadays? You know what I mean?
Like blow my nose with 9 points. Like what?
Offenses are so explosive.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, teams can score 9 points in a minute. You know what I mean? Like nothing. Even subpar. I don't like saying bad teams. Subpar teams.
Oh, look at you! Come on, growth.
That's what that's called.
New year.
New year, new me. Less slander.
Growth.
Only in group chats I'll say mean things. But I'm kidding. but yeah, Tiff. So excuse me, cough. Brooklyn. Brooklyn kind of comes from behind, comes back. I thought Heat ran out of gas a bit. I thought a couple. For as good as Kyle has been, not turning the ball over, had a really nasty turnover, which was absolutely going to be a score. Jimmy had the defense beat. What kind of what we're talking about? That screen and slip to throw the switch off, and this was a great play because Miami had used Jimmy as a decoy for the whole game, and this was Kyle as the ball handler coming, and I think Orlando was the second screener. And, he's coming off the Jimmy screen, going to come off Orlando, and Jimmy rolls and Kyle throws the pass and absolutely had Brooklyn, fooled. And Jimmy got there. It was just a bad pass. And credit to Eric Reed for the propaganda saying, a lot of black shirts there. That was a shit pass, and that should have been a score. They force a ton of turnovers. Jimmy gets a 2 leak out dunk. Credit to Oladipo. What a fucking listen. I'm not to slander the Dolphins, but that was the best fucking pass thrown all day here in South Florida because that Jets
Someone
Dolphins
said in the greater Miami
in the greater
area.
Miami
I saw that
area
tweet.
because that football game was woof, and I know everybody watching it thought the same. But so Tiff, all that happens, and we get to the end of the game, and you get the look you want. You get Jimmy splitting defenders, getting downhill with a shot at the rim. That's what you want. At least I think. I mean, I don't. Bond's making faces, but I don't know. I want my best player going to the rim and having a shot at the rim. I don't care who the help guy is, as opposed to jump shots. But I like the play call.
Oh, I agree.
I love the play call. I thought it was good. I credit to Jimmy for splitting defenders, looking like D Wade. But you don't. I don't want to make this a litigation on what was a call or what wasn't a call. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Whatever the 2-minute report, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, they didn't call it. They didn't call it, and it is what it is. So as fans who were upset, I thought it was a foul. I know Bond and Tiff, thought it was fair call. But
I'm not going to make it a litigation.
I don't want to. Yeah.
So someone mentioned. So I was talking about Brother Cali on timeline. And someone said
And subject is closed after Bond's done. Chat, that subject's closed.
Someone said he was jumping forward. He doesn't get a chance to jump far enough forward before the contact is kind of made by Jimmy's lower half.
Bond people are mad at you.
And then he comes down. I don't care. If you people can be mad, that's fine. Like, I still love you guys.
Bond's friends with officials, guys, by the way. You got to remember.
I know many, very good officials.
Bond's friends are referees.
And I'm telling you, they're not calling that. And someone said to say that they're not calling that points out that there's a whole bad thing with the concept of it anyway. I said no. Time, score, situation, all of that type of stuff matters. It has to be irrefutable in that position to let free throws determine kind of the outcome of that game. And I think it was close enough to where that's not a call. Okay. If Jimmy had maybe taken off a bit further back and it was clear or more clear that dude was moving forward, maybe. But at the point at which he looks like he's trying to go forward, he's up vertical enough. Jimmy hits him, then he kind of comes over. I don't think that's
at the end of the day, I don't give a shit because they didn't get called.
But Jimmy also could have floated. He didn't have to get all the way in there. He could have given me a little. I don't know if he has a push shot to him, but
regardless,
I don't know.
Whatever, short clock situation, blah blah blah. They didn't get the call. They lost. I'm sad. Whatever.
At the play call.
Tiff, all this happens. Tyler's on the floor. Eric Reed's screaming for a foul. Tyler just fucking fell, bro.
Those last 3 seconds were so chaotic.
It was so many things happening all over the court, and also Tyler was on the floor all game. He wasn't getting no calls. He was every time you turned around, he was.
I don't even know because Depot was the guy screening for Jimmy to come off of, right? Exactly. So it was
Tyler was cutting into space on the right wing, just vacating and just slip.
Right,
I ain't got nothing for you.
I kind of wonder if so he popped, right? So there's a lot of shit going on. Mm-hmm. Tyler comes off to the wing and then Jimmy curls off. Obviously the play was for Jimmy. I wonder if Brooklyn just bails on Tyler for Jimmy if that inbound doesn't go to Tyler.
It didn't go to Tyler.
But I'm wondering if Tyler didn't fall or whatever.
Oh, if it does, I don't know.
Exactly, maybe. He fell.
Much to think about. And and then Tiff. So all that happens. Now I'm sad here on Twitch.tv.
Don't be sad.
On Twitch.tv.
Don't be sad.
I'm sad.
Don't be sad.
I was excited.
I'm not
roast
sad.
Some potatoes. I was, there gonna be crispy potatoes for dinner, and now it's gonna be sad potatoes.
Roast them potatoes.
Hold up.
I'm still gonna make them. I'm not throwing away food, but now I'm sad. Time out.
Oh,
gee, I know good well in hell you on East Coast time.
I am.
Why you eat potatoes at 9:00?
Well, because we're doing this.
Oh, girl.
We're doing this post-game show, and I didn't eat dinner before because I wanted to make sure that we started on time.
I be making whole meals at 1:30 in the morning.
No,
burgers.
No, I'm with Bond here. I don't like eating this late, but I wasn't hungry.
That's not what I said at all. You're not with me.
I'm with Tiff.
I love eating.
I'm with Tiff that I don't like eating this late, but my pregame show host, by the way, also didn't.
Oh, right, you did do pregame.
Yeah, my pregame show host was nowhere to be found, so I had to do pregame alone. which made So so I hadn't heard. So I had to prep and stuff, and then
Wait, you did pregame alone?
I did pregame alone.
That's why we lost. That was an omen.
This is a fucking. This is a call out post.
That's crazy.
Somebody took a nap. It was a call out post.
I'm screaming.
Love you, Kenny.
Napping on the job.
Yeah, dude. So I didn't have time, and I've been sick, Tiff. I took a mid morning nap, and I got out of bed at like 2 because I felt awful. I'm out here fighting.
No food.
I'm out here fighting for my life.
No food, no sleep. Are you hydrated?
Pre-gaming alone.
I am hydrating.
That's crazy.
I am hydrating.
Who run this? Because this is
unfortunately me.
A strongly worded letter to somebody.
Chat's making fun of me. They're like, G was coughing into the mic all pregame show. It was bad. I've been using a cough button now. I put one in, but boy, was I fucking struggling.
What is a cough button? Please play it.
It's like a mute button. Well, I mute OBS, not you guys. You guys have heard my coughing. I'm muting it on the broadcast.
I thought you were saying you were trying to like overlay.
I do want to say one thing we did not touch on, and y'all know y'all got to admit it.
Your boy's back?
What's that?
Well, I mean that's what it is, but Kyrie cooked us like fucking. We were over open flame.
Depot barbecue chicken.
Those are
Kyle barbecue chicken. Tyler barbecue chicken.
Tyler barbecue chicken.
Great player doing great.
He had us on a spit.
Didn't cook Jimmy though. I thought Jimmy did a great job, and I thought the double team. I fucking love. Spo doesn't do this often. Spo just said, "Fuck it, take the ball out of that guy's hand." We're doubling him, and they doubled. I thought Tyler did a great job at surprise doubling. He did it to KD at one possession. Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Kyle did it really well.
Yeah.
Fake does it well.
But Jimmy's just with everyone you name, Jimmy's physique is what helps him because he's so much stronger than every person you just mentioned.
Motherfucker's strong. He's like Kawhi. These are just fucking
strong.
oxen.
So even though Kyrie is twitchy and he got the moves and all those things, Jimmy has that middle girth. He's sturdy. So you're not going to use all those moves and then dip your shoulder into me like Kyrie likes to do and then get me off balance. It's not easy for him to knock Jimmy off balance like that.
And Jimmy's core, I think, is really strong too. So he's pretty. He's not a clumsy guy.
No.
He's fantastic body. He's some of the best body control in the.
Like Dwayne.
You got these clips, G?
We have the clips. Yeah, I wanted to get to the clips. One thing I want to get to. Somebody in chat, White Hot Take said, felt like good adjustments were made late in the game on Kyrie, and that's kind of what I'm talking about on Spo. And I thought he did it at the right time because I don't think you want to double him earlier because then at that point you're getting other guys involved and getting them in a rhythm. Like you don't want Watanabe with a head of steam coming into the late game, right? You don't want that guy getting open look after open look. You want these guys a little colder, and I thought it was a good stuff. So let's get to some breakdowns for Bon. Now I hope I haven't done this in a while. I hope I did this. Wrong one. It's the wrong one.
Now at some point.
Okay, hold on.
Bear with us, people.
Bear with us. It's been, where is that layer? What did I put on?
Y'all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I moved
New Year, same us.
Okay, listen. Nothing changed. Look, authenticity.
Problem because for some reason the plays got deleted. So
play schmaze gays. It's all the same.
We can do a makeshift one. You want to do a really bootleg one?
How? Oh. I hear you.
Okay, we're gonna have to scrap that because something broke.
Tiff, you know who else you wanted to talk about earlier?
I'm so sorry, Bon. Bon got those clips. Bon, I'm gonna make it up to you because you worked and you got that stuff and everything broke. And I even came in the third quarter and I fucking set everything up.
Guess what, Bon? G was right there and didn't get the rebound.
Come on. Kyrie tweaked. Kyrie pulled up from half court.
G was
with
right there.
9.7
Bond,
seconds
what
left.
was he? Why
And
did
I
he
got
take that
Gianni
shot?
in the paint. I genuinely. He was. I don't know.
Eric Reed said it
Listen,
was because he was scared that he was going to get doubled, which made no sense.
No. Listen, my ancestors be with me all the time, and I don't know what his told him to do right there. But
They
like,
told him
he
to take that
yanked
shot. They told him
Oh
to
no! I
Why
think
would he give them
I think he
time?
did.
Or do you think?
Yeah, like
Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he wasn't aware how
he's
much time
walking
was on
down
the
the
clock.
court.
JR?
No, he's too.
JR.
No, he's walking down. He's facing both clocks. No, I can't abide by that. I don't know what that was, but he heaved it.
He
He
did.
pulled it up. I don't
He
know
did.
where Orlando Robinson was. Somewhere out in the.
He wasn't even in the
short-
frame.
In the right short. No, he wasn't. He's somewhere out here on the right corner, and I got my midgets in here, mistiming jumps, jumping all over the place, and then this little springy white man just come, and I'm like, well, who now? How do and lost?
Who got
That
the
is
rebound? Was
such
it
an
Watanabe?
annoying way to lose the game. I think
The ball ended up with Royce O'Neal.
Yeah. Did he tip it out? I
He-
can't
it
remember
was a
how he
putback.
got.
it was a clean
Okay.
grab.
Yeah. All I remember is poor Kyle under there, and all of a sudden I saw Kyle out of the frame like this.
He got knocked over by Watanabe.
He did get knocked. No, he did.
He got
But
knocked over.
that's what happens when you're underneath. But it was a slow, like.
He felt like how I would have fallen. Really a live look at what happened this post game show, with my producing Bond's hard work. I
Yes.
want everyone to fucking slander me because I don't know what happened. I even moved the layer in the proper place. So, man, I'm so.
And here I was deleting extra clips that I could have used.
No,
I'm
so mad.
It's fine.
So use these on your thread.
I deleted like half of them just to narrow it down, just to send them.
Somebody
off
says
to
it's
him.
not slander if it's
It's
true, G.
fine.
You're right. Somebody also said G has a negative Windsor replacement producer. Bond, your
Now,
camera's
too
a little.
much.
Your camera.
I'm like, why am I blurry?
You're a little
Like,
blurry.
What is happening?
Who's
I didn't
who's
do
the
it.
next? Who's the next opponent?
I believe it's is it Oklahoma City?
I think.
I have the schedule right here.
Yeah, it's OKC then Milwaukee.
Yeah.
What Tuesday? When's the okay?
As we have a very nice little graphic here showing right.
I don't know what's happening, G.
Yeah. What do you mean?
This
Why is this blurry?
Oklahoma City, and then
Yep.
Milwaukee, and then I think Milwaukee again on Saturday, right, Tiff?
Yep.
See you there.
Yeah. See you there.
Oh,
So
I'm
okay,
sad.
listen, we have just just like the
This is going off
Heat,
the
just like the
rails.
Heat late in the game. We have the wheels have come off.
I'm here, y'all. You can't.
Just
see
Jared
me,
says,
but
put the brass signal in the sky.
we do need to make a brass
Right.
signal.
We do.
Oh my god,
What is
that'd
it?
be great.
What would the brass signal be? Would it be like a cocktail?
It's got
It's
to be
a
a drink.
martini.
It's got to
It's a
be a
martini.
drink.
Martini?
Yes. Yes.
It's a
gotta be
martini with
drink.
3
A martini
olives.
and a middle
Yes.
finger.
And a middle finger.
Did you see the Deadman play against the Lakers where he flipped the dude off?
No.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna upload
Oh, but
that
you
so
got
we can
that.
watch that together. Cause that shit was fucking insane that he flipped the dude off after that.
Is that before or after he lost
Look at
the
this.
ball?
Look at this shit. Look at this. And then he loses the ball. Look what he's gonna do. Look at this motherfucker.
Oh,
He-
wow.
Delicious.
He just who you flipping off, motherfucker?
Who you mad at?
Who you mad at? What's that? Who's that for? Who's that for?
I don't really don't say anything too much about him, but that play really pissed me off.
That play
Because
really
to stop mid-game holding the ball and yell at the refs while play is still going on, like to me, that is just like the worst. That's like the worst.
it's as mad as
You know-
I've been in like a singular play in a long time. And it's
Like
also
you're-
like I hope that that's what did it. I hope that's what like Spo is like, okay, I'm done.
No more of this.
I hope it was a moment where Spo is like, we're done.
that's a bad moment.
Just
Enough
Jared
is
says
enough.
Bond looks like she's afraid the cartel will identify her.
Listen, I'm snitching on everybody.
Stay safe. Who was in witness protection during last hot? That
Kenny.
Jasmine was fucking killing.
Oh
Jasmine,
no, get me out of here! I can't be trapped in witness protection with you.
Jasmine, you, Kenny, and Nikias, witness protection.
Oh my goodness!
Guys used to
3 Negroes walking
that
to
man
a
used to
bar.
just have a
Right.
singular. That man used to have a singular. He used to like pot in the living room. And there was like one signature, like one singular lamp in the very corner with the light bulb that hasn't been changed since like the Bush administration.
Nikias was doing podcasts with night lights.
Oh,
Right?
dude.
One light.
Nikias was lighting a damn oil lantern.
Oh shoot. he had a homemade the stick with the flame on it. Like he was walking in caves and shit.
Gotta wave the torch around from room to room.
Oh my God.
Yo, Kenny was using his phone light.
I was my friend's getting married and we're doing she wants her bachelorette party in Tulum, so I'm helping plan it, and she asked me to book one hotel, but it's like some fucking like it looks a beautiful hotel and it's like totally like for Instagram, but I read the reviews and there's no fucking lights in it. You know what I mean? So it's like what you're saying. You need a fucking Kenny phone or an Akai's fucking lantern to get ready, you know, once the sun goes down. The fuck are we doing? What's wrong with us?
That's that shit. That's that shit where black people know not to go to.
Listen,
We not going there.
Word to the
it's
wise.
been vacation.
Oh, it's no lights after dark. Mm.
Listen,
What? It's been.
go ahead.
What?
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, you talking about it's been vacation for all the the first week of January. This is little house on the hill where we were staying. Every time we got right at the edge of the street, saw the house, turn around. I don't like the way it looked. It just feel off. I'm out.
I'm with you, Bon.
Nowhere and when not to go.
I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm out here for me. Thank you, everybody, joining us tonight for
Thank you.
what has been. I thought we made a sad game fun.
Yeah.
Bon is. Are you there? Clap if you're there.
I'm wishing peace and love, but you can't see. Just
Peace
feel
and
it,
love. We'll see you tomorrow for the podcast, and then remember hangover times on Thursday against the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't want to miss that one. Hope he can bounce back and not make us sad anymore. See you tomorrow.